Hi guys, it's Precious Bria. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be telling you the pros and the cons of living in New York City. A quick disclaimer, I was born and raised in the city, so I guess I can be kind of biased. Not really though. I'm going to tell you my honest truth, and I will also say I am low-key over living in the city, but I am going to be like as honest and as objective as possible. And let me also say that even though I am over living in the city, I do love the city and I do understand its beauty, and as it comes, being a little bit older, thinking about all of the past experiences, good and bad, that I've had, you know, I do think that this is a beautiful city and it does have a lot to offer. I think that it just depends on what type of lifestyle you want. That's it. So we will start off with the cons so that we can end with the pros on a good note. So the main one about New York City is that it's crowded. It's so many people in a small area. New York City is very overpopulated. We do have areas that look more like the suburbs. The houses are still very much so close together, and then you have like really high-rise buildings and buildings everywhere. There are parks, but it just isn't a lot of like nature. Like if that's what you're looking for, obviously you do not come to the city, because that is not what you will find here. It's just gonna be people on top of people on top of people. COVID is the only time in my life that I've seen like hot spots like 42nd Street, 125th Street, because I'm, you know, that's near me, Fordham Road, empty. Otherwise, it doesn't matter like what time of the night. I remember when I was like on this going out kick, that's like probably like when I first turned 21 or around that age, whatever. And we would like, me and my friend would like come home at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and it was like still people outside. It wasn't like, oh, we're the only people. Like, no, it was still like just as if it was just late at night. Well, it was really late at night, early in the morning, but it was just like, you know, you go some places and after like 2 a.m. it's empty, it's deserted. You know that you're gonna be the only one outside, like you and one other person. No, it would still be like a bunch of people outside, just like regular. It's crazy. And it's, when you think about it like that, it seems cool, but at the end of the day, it's too many people in my opinion. The second one, and this is a pet peeve of mine, and I don't know why, because like I said, I was born and raised in the city, but it's the loudness. It's always so loud. Whether it's people outside having a good time, whether it's people outside fighting, whether it's people outside playing music, whether it's a party happening right in front of your building. So it's a combination of the music and the people and the laughter and all of these things. Whether it's the firefighters or it's the obnoxious drivers that honk their horn for 20 minutes because you didn't drive off on a green light fast enough. It's ridiculous. It's it's always loud. You'll probably be able to see in the middle of this video. There are like down times sometimes, but like most of the time, no. It's lit. It's always loud. The second is transportation, i.e. parking. So if you have a car and you live in New York City and you don't have a parking spot, or you don't have a garage or whatever or something like that, honey, people have been known to drive around for hours looking for a parking spot. people just park in front of fire hydrants. And they just risk it all. And that's been something that I know like a lot of people do. And you see it all the time. Like even me walking up my block, up and down my block, people always park in front of the fire hydrants. Most of the time, honestly, they don't get like tickets and they don't get towed. But I was like walking up not my block, but another block randomly, and I seen somebody get a ticket. So just be careful because, you know, obviously that's illegal. But I guess people just get tired. It's like after I've been driving around for an hour, sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do. So, the next thing is the rats. Now, these are not normal mice that you might think of, but these rats are the size, I don't know where else they have big rats, but these rats are the size of cats. They're like cat rats. And they're gangster rats. So you know how usually you're walking and, I don't know, they're supposed to be scared of you, right? They're not scared of you. If you don't move out their way, they'll run over your foot. There's been stories of homeless people sleeping on the train and the rat crawls up their leg. The trains are disgusting. The rats, they play tag with each other. It's just like rats everywhere. You're walking down the street. Every block that I walk down, like I'm guaranteed, especially in Harlem, in the Bronx, I really don't experience this. Like you see rats, but it's not the same unless you're in a like filthy area. But in Harlem, you're walking, and you're like bound to see a rat. Like basically almost every block that you walk down. Like pretty much. Yup. Another one, and I guess we will include this in. Okay, we'll just keep going. Another thing is New York is very expensive. You can find a $1,200 studio apartment, tiny. It's a box. You walk in, you see the whole thing, tiny, 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 tiny. Now this is not everywhere. People find good deals, don't get me wrong. But generally speaking, New York is a very expensive place to live. And the apartments are tiny. Like, whereas you can go somewhere else and you can maybe get like a 1-bedroom at minimum, or maybe even a 2-bedroom, because I was looking at other places that have 2 bedrooms with $1,200 with a balcony. You get a guaranteed parking spot, all of the things, amenities included. $1,200, $1,300. Here, you're gonna get you a filthy little box for a walk-up. You do not get an elevator. You do not have laundry and dryer in your apartment. Yeah, that's New York. So have fun. And everything is just more expensive. And also taxes are more expensive here. So everything that you pay taxes on is more expensive. So yeah. The next thing is, it feels like because there's so many people, but everybody is like so standoffish. We know that New Yorkers are known for being like aggressive. That's not everybody, but it is a thing that people get lonely if you don't like have your circle or whatever. This is like a pros and a cons, because I get that, like, I've heard people say like, oh, the lonely thing, but I also feel like it's really easy to meet a lot of people because it's so many people in a small confined space, in my opinion. So I can be like very much so an introvert, but I can also be like I can speak to people, like I can be super friendly and stuff like that. It just depends on whatever vibe I'm, you know, feeling for the day. So I can see both sides. I can see somebody being like, oh, I can't, like people say, oh, dating in New York is terrible. Like I can see somebody saying that, but at the same time, like, look down the block and it's like 10 men trying to talk to you. So the next thing we will say is we'll mix these two together, the aggressiveness and the attitudes. Now, sometimes I find myself like walking down the block, and what I try and do, because I get a little bit, I hate when people stare at me. That also might be a New York thing. So I try not to like give anybody any eye contact. Like obviously I like to be aware of my surroundings, so I'm gonna look around, but I try not to like stare at people for too long. And people would just like stare at you up and down. Like girls would be like staring at you. So nasty. The men, I don't even like respond at this point. I put my music up as loud as possible because I don't even want to hear what you have to say. Because sometimes they be saying wild shit and then I feel like I need to respond. But I have been threatened because I didn't want to talk to a man. I have been cursed out and quote unquote him trying to embarrass me. I really don't care. I don't really even know what he says. I had on headphones, but I know that he was trying to like put on a little show because I didn't want to talk to him. And I was, don't get me wrong, now I had to grow into this, you don't need to argue with these men before they beat your ass, because my mouth is crazy, and I used to argue. I used to argue, and I used to be ready to go to war, and then I'm like, it's not worth it. You're a bum. You stand on the corner for pennies every day. You're not going anywhere with your life. Why am I sitting here arguing with this man? What is the point? So I stopped arguing. But you have to like be there and just like keep walking, and God forbid if you're cute, and even if you're not cute, but you probably are cute, sis, they still gonna try and talk to you, and they still will get mad if you don't try and talk to them because they feel entitled. Sir, go take care of your 5 kids. Thank you. Whatever though. The next is crime. Now, whenever you have a small area and a bunch of people, the amount of crime is going to be off the rocks, like off the... So, you know, they do all types of crazy stuff. You have to be very careful and very aware of your surroundings, especially as a woman. You have to just be very cautious of what's going on around you because people are crazy and they will try you. And you could be minding your business and you don't deserve it and they will still try you. So be careful if you are planning on moving to the city. And that's all we have for cons. So we'll move into pros. First one is transportation. And the reason why I say transportation is the New York City public transportation system, even though I said that they're rats, and even though because of COVID, I hate getting on the trains because everything is so disgusting. It is very convenient. If you are in a position where, you know, you're not financially in a place where you can pay for Ubers everywhere, because that can get very expensive, you can always spend your little $2.75 and get to wherever you need to be from one side of the city to the other. It might take long, you might be delayed, you might have to deal with people not wearing masks and coughing on you, but you will get to your destination. I'm joking. So yeah, you're gonna be able to get to wherever you need to get. If you can't get there on the train, there will be a bus that can take you there. And yeah. The next is there's always something going on because it's so many people and there's so many restaurants. There's always something. You can always literally find something to do. You can always literally go out and meet people. I guess everybody's different, but I feel like usually if I go somewhere, you know, you can always meet somebody. The next one is food. I didn't realize how important this was until I started. Until I got older and started traveling to different places, and it's like the food at other places are not the same. I love that in New York, whatever literally I'm craving, I can find somewhere, and usually I can find it and it's not too far from me. So that's amazing too. And even in the area that I'm in, even though I'm a super picky eater and I don't eat a lot of the food that's over here, if I did want something, I could find it, and like I said, it wouldn't be far from me at all. So that's great. The next one is opportunities. One thing that's great about the city is if you are coming here for a specific goal of like achieving, I don't know, like furthering your career or trying to be an actor or singer or I don't know, just like any random, even in my field, there's so many different opportunities that I can find right at my fingertips. There's just so many different ways that you can make money, easy and accessible ways, so that's amazing. Next one is nightlife and entertainment. We're intertwined the two. Like I said, there is always something going on. Pre-COVID, there was a lot of festivals that you can go, a lot of different like parties that they have, like day parties, all of that stuff. You guys know. There's always something going on in New York City. And one is diversity. It just feels like in New York, once you go outside, like immediately, it's a good mix of everybody. So yeah, like even in the hood, you'll see white people. Even in a place that's like majority Spanish, you'll still see white people, you'll still see black people. You'll still see, like, everywhere you go, you're just gonna see a mixture. No matter what is like majority in that area or predominant in that area, it's always gonna be a good, still mixed, like sprinkled, you know? So I thought that was interesting. And the last one is that this is just a beautiful city, even though, you know, it does look dirty. It does look dirty. You can still see the beauty in it. And I feel like you grow to love New York City. So if you're thinking about moving here, definitely visit, I think, for at least like a week or two if you can. And try to stay, if you can get like an Airbnb, I would say get an Airbnb in the area that you were thinking about living in, so that you can really get the feel and really get the experience of what it's like. Because I think a lot of people come here and they visit and they stay downtown, and even downtown is not really that cute, but you stay downtown and you see all of the highlights. No, you gotta go to the hood, because 9 times out of 10, some way, somehow, you're gonna end up in a hood. So you need to really, really see what it's like. If you don't have a car and you can't drive, or you don't plan on having a car here, then you need to get on the train so that you can really see what the train is like and get that experience, because the train is not for everybody. Walking up and down those stairs is like a workout. You get on the train, you might have to fight. You get on the train and, you know, you got an unwanted show and everybody's begging you. You get on the train and nobody's respecting your personal space. It's just like a lot to be considered and, you know, factored in when living in New York City, in my opinion. That's everywhere you go, but because this city is just like so busy and it's just so much going on, it's not like going to like a laid back place where, yes, it might be a culture shock, but it's just not the same. Like New York is it's an experience, a very interesting experience. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I hope to see you guys in another video.